If you check it out now,
The 10-point program. Number one, we want freedom. We want the power to control the destiny of our black community. Number two, we want full employment for our people. Number three, we want an end to the robbery by the white man of our black community. Number four, we want decent housing fit to shelter human beings. Number five, we want education for our people that teaches us the true nature of this decadent American society. Education that teaches us our true history and our role in the present-day society. Number six, we want all black men to be exempt from military service. Number seven, we want an immediate end to police brutality and murder of black people. Number eight, we want all black people to be released from the many prisons, city, county, and state jails that they are now being held in. Number nine, we want all black people when brought to court to be tried by a jury of their peers or people from their black communities as defined in the Constitution. Number 10, we want land, justice, housing, education, clothing, and peace. And as a major political objective, a United Nations supervised plebiscite to be held throughout the black colonies of America, in which only black people will participate to decide or determine the will of black people as to their national destiny. Right on, brother. Right on. Right on.
Revolution has come. 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 Revolution has come.
The fatal shooting of Bobby Hutton by Oakland police. The Oakland police stated that they were fired upon during a routine investigation of a suspicious person, and after a short search, cornered Hutton and Elvis Cleaver in the basement of a nearby house. Fierce gun battle ensued, which lasted for hours before Hutton and Cleaver surrendered to the police. Cleaver's claim is that Hutton was shot down by police as he stumbled toward a police car, which was to take him to headquarters. His sudden and violent death made him an instant martyr for the Panthers. Tributes, eulogies, and a funeral attended by 1,200 persons, including movie star Marlon Brando, helped to publicize nationally the Panthers campaign against the Oakland police. The Panthers get a lot of mileage from their martyrs in the form of news coverage in both local and national press, as well as the underground Communist Party newspapers. Each event gives the Panthers another opportunity to spout their line of revolution in the white mother country and national liberation in the black colony. The Panther militants in Oakland became involved in the Poor People's March from Oakland. They were represented at a rally held in Oakland Auditorium by Ralph Abernathy, and it is reported that they played a significant role in organizing the march on Washington from Oakland. Panthers were among the residents of Resurrection City and managed to be identified as such. Panthers became associated with the black boycott of the Olympic Games organized by Harry Edwards, an associate professor at San Jose College in California. The coalition between the Black Panthers and the Peace and Freedom Party became clear at the Peace and Freedom Founding Convention held on March 16, 1968 in Richmond, California. The Peace and Freedom Party joined with the Black Panther Party and the Stop the Draft League organizers. In spite of their mistrust for some white radicals, the Panthers have formed a new and open alliance with the Students for a Democratic Society.
Bobby Hutton was murdered.
Oh, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of him coming down the street and kicking my damn head for nothing I ain't done. Bobby Hutton gave his life, man. The cat was 18 years old. He gave his life. And from that day on, Panthers moved up. Moved up as far as the black community was concerned. From that day on, Panthers moved up because black community knew and felt what Huey was saying, but Huey went out and did for the people what the people wanted to do for the last 15, 20 years. He did to the pig what Roger would like to do. Nobody's saying that, hey, we're not saying go out and off the pig, go out and start shooting a pig, you know, but this is what Huey did it. If it comes to that, I'm sure that one of these brothers are capable of doing it. We're going to stop this shit one way or the other. We have to fight with guns. before you can do that. Gotta be some discipline. I'm gonna ask you now, I think you want discipline. Okay. The first thing is discipline, man, before you can even control the pig, or you're off you. You're off you, man. From here, you start out going into the community so the community know, man, what you're doing. Because see, if the pig off you, if you off you, Rogers, and you be going to funeral, man, you get the casket, you the community don't even know you're dead. You got to have the community back. Pigs, the police are protecting the landlord. If Roger run out with a Molotov cocktail to throw in one of these rat-infested buildings, they kill it. 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 Somebody asked me why. Why the man come down on him? Why?
Protecting people and protecting the property.
Right. You been to jail for, baby? You been to jail? Right on. Nothing but pig. Once you realize, man, that your house is funky, rats and roaches, you know, same way a black dude's house is, you know, once you realize that your brother's been brutalized by the cops, same way the west side and south side is, you know, once you realize, man, that you're getting inadequate, man, education in high school, junior high school over here, the same way the south side and the west side, you know, once you realize that you are paying taxes for the cops to whoop your ass, you're paying them. You're paying them, man, for to whoop your ass. You're paying them to come in to beat your children. You're paying them to run you off the corner. You're paying them to kill you. Deal from there. The same thing is happening on the south side and the west side. If you can realize that concept of power, the concept of poverty, a revolution can begin.
Revolutionary. I love Huey P. Newton.
Press the party that genocide will have to be inflicted not only upon the people of this country, but the people of the world, because we struggle with all oppressed people. We struggle against the international bourgeoisie, which is home here in North America. We realize that no oppressive government, no fascist government can exist unless the United States imperialistic government supports it. So we know that the final battle will occur here, and this will be the battle of liberation for the whole world. I'm blaming the first and foremost 76 countries who control Nixon. These are the monopolies, or the oligarchy that controls not only the people in this country, but also who runs the empire. Because remember, this is not a nation. It has no right to claim nationalism. It's an international country. Only the international bourgeoisie is in control. We want to transform this into an international socialistic government where the people will be in control. And then when America plans its economy, it will have to plan for the people of the world also. Decide to move, I'll guarantee you it'll be international. The Black Panther Party is an international party. We have a coalition with all struggling people of the world. And we feel that we must be internationalists because we're fighting an international enemy.
How soon do you think the people are going to want to move?
The people are already moving. The people are moving in Vietnam. The people are moving in Laos. The people are moving in Cambodia. The people are moving in Latin America, Brazil. The people are moving everywhere. We're just joining in. Matter of fact, we're latecomers. Together to decide what action to take. This action might take the form of a political action or military action. In other words, that we believe in taking any action that's effective and effective at the time.
What kind of military action are you taking against?
We never broadcast our military maneuvers for military reasons. We might broadcast them for political reasons, which we've done in the past. This time, the game is a very serious one, and we're not willing to play it, matter of fact. That we're serious, and whatever we do, we'll do that, and we operate on the axiom that in order to say what I want to say, I can't do what I want to do. To do what I want to do, I can't say what I want to say. Therefore, observe our actions, and you'll know what I want to say.
Well, how do you I'm the deputy chairman of the state of Illinois Black Panther Party, Fred Hammond. I am a blessed not introduced who I believe is one of the baddest motherfuckers in the world. A man that did something that a lot of us ought to be very glad that he did. He was a part of maybe the only party which exists in the United States today that represents the people. As a matter of fact, he was one man. Him and Huey P. Newton started out in 1966. Sometimes I think when some of us were in 1966. I think what we would have said if we'd heard about some niggas going out the street talking about cash for guns, fighting all these police because we didn't know they were big out there in the street. And I think I'm speaking for the whole party of the state of Illinois. I know I am. When I say that we love Huey P. Newton. We love Elvis Cleaver. We love Bobby Hutton. We love the Black Panther Party. And we love them and Bobby C. We love them because they were the first ones that took a stand against capitalism and racism and said that we'll fight till the end. We said we join the line somewhere, motherfucker. If you try to pass us, we'll blow your brains out. They were the first ones that came through with the program that was initiated for the benefit of the people. All those things that I named, the reasons why we love them are reasons that make it beneficial to us. But let me simply say when I introduce Brother Bobby.
All right, he is some jive conspiracy. You know what we gonna do? We are going to defend ourselves because Huey P. Newton said that power is the ability to define phenomena and make it act in a desired manner. Power is the ability to define phenomena and make it act in a desired manner. What kind of phenomena? Social phenomena. What is the social phenomena? Black people, Mexican Americans, any kind of people begin to learn that the social phenomena is that in fact U.S. racist, decadent, capitalist, imperialist America is a holy state. Right? A holy state exists here that these pigs are doing nothing but protecting the average businessman and the demagogic politicians, protecting the exploitation systems that they got going. That in fact we are tired of it, we are sick of it. You've been brutalizing black people, you've been murdering and lynching them. Black people are tired of it. Black people vanguard of the revolution all of a sudden. That is phenomenally correct also. But we are concerned with that social phenomena. We are concerned with that exploitation. We are concerned with the oppression that black people and all other people in the world who are suffering the same common oppression we are suffering today. The thing is that we have the ability to define it. If we have the ability to define it, the only next thing to do is get organized. Get organized. So when a pig walks up to you, or a pig gets a job with the pig, you'll be so organized, you'll be learning some tactics, you'll be learning some revolutionary principles, you'll be having some guns get out somewhere, you'll have some proper tactics. That when the pig gets a job with you, the pig is wrong, you whoop your guns out on him, blow him away, and then you have the ability, in fact you have made that pig act in a desired manner.
But for what? But for what? For a new system, brothers. We need a new system. The people need a new system.
Revolution has come on the day. Time to pick up the gun on the day.
Make it without serving the people. Huey Newton said that.
You don't have to overemphasize that.
No, but a lot of
It is a fact. It is a fact that the Black Panther Party has these things, and it does these things, and it says these things, you see?
Yeah, but they're not reported, and that's why
Why?
we're distressed.
Because who's interested in what the pigs of the mass media report? Who's interested in what they do? I'm only interested in how to counter that, you know?
Yeah, that's what we're
And not counter it by overemphasizing an apologetic approach to that, you know? We have a Breakfast for Children program, you know? But that's not what the Black Panther Party is all about, see? I don't agree with saying that the Black Panther Party supports Breakfast for Children, and that's all they're about, you know? Don't talk about the other thing. The Black Panther Party is for overthrowing the United States government.
Presumably because they're going to do some positive things for people. What does the Black Panthers do to show that they're not racist?
I think that everything they do shows that.
How?
Like sitting here talking to you, for instance.
Why?
Or listening to your questions, Because why would I listen to a hunky or a beast or a devil or a Ku Klux Klan, blue-eyed, hairy-faced European,
Other country radical.
What relevance could anything that you say have? So I talk to you because I think that
it's not racist.
you have something to say on the subject matter.
It's not racist as much as negative. People say Panthers just want to destroy, just want to attack, just hate, just want to kill.
That would be positive, They never charge us with saying that we want to kill. Because we say that very clearly that we want to kill pigs, But they say that the Black Panthers want to kill all white babies, So that all the white mothers get attacked, And lay awake at night and argue with these cats that makes them want to do something to Black Panthers.
When you talk a lot about killing, assassination, then on the other hand you say you're a Marxist, And most Marxists have never believed in terror. They never believe in terrorism.
Most Marxists? Who cares what most Marxists are?
It's considered Marxists considered terrorism, adventurous.
Well, let's talk about the members of the First International who was not organized by Marxists, but by Karl Marx himself, right? And a member of the First International was Bakunin. He wrote a beautiful document. The Black Panther Party saw fit to issue as a pamphlet, titled "Catechism of the Revolutionists." And in this catechism, the first thing he says, the first line of the catechism says that a revolutionary is a doomed man.
I think that the tragedy of the Watts riot is that it was romanticized by white people in that their articles about let's get whitey, and that the other tragic thing about it was that the black people of Watts have not benefited. They were not able to use that riot to achieve anything at all, and that's tragic, because what it means is that it leaves an atmosphere for more riots.
Well, if all means are legitimate, then are you saying that this riot is a legitimate?
I am not to define legitimacy. I will not say to the people in Watts who rioted that they have no right to riot, that that's outside of their way to get whatever they want to get. They have the right to decide whatever means they want to use to achieve that. And that's up to them. They live in Watts. They live with rats and roaches. They live in Harlem. They live in Chicago. They live in the Delta of Mississippi. They earn $3 a day. They're the poverty-stricken people. And they have to speak to ways to get out of it. And I cannot and will not define for them that they must do it this way.
What do you mean by black power? Are you saying the Negro can take over parts of the country?
As I am saying that in the counties where black people outnumber white people in the majority, that they have the right to organize themselves politically and to, via the vote, seize the power. Just like Irish people did that in Boston, just like Jewish people do that in their communities, just like Italian people did it in New York with LaGuardia, that black people in the areas where they outnumber racist whites who rule the counties with terror should take over that county. When I talk about black power, I talk about black people in the counties where they outnumber them to get together, to organize themselves politically, and to take over those counties from the white racists who now run it. When I talk about black power, I talk about black people independently outside of both parties, since they do not now speak to the needs of black people, organizing themselves first, and then if they decide to move into those parties, to move in as a strong bloc vote, where they can force the politicians who do not now speak to their needs, speak to their needs. I mean, the tragedy of the Watts riot is that in every report that came out of Watts, they agreed that black people were asking for Chief Parker to be dismissed. And 1 year later, Parker is still the chief of police. If that were a Jewish community, if that were an Irish community, if that were an Italian community, that man would be gone. And I'm saying the reason why he's not gone is because black people in Watts do not have the power. They have to organize to get the power so that the people who work in their communities will respect and speak to their needs.
Don't need no ticket, just load it down.
decided to go natural about a week ago. I felt it was a purpose. It was a special purpose. More so a meaning for me to be natural. Because I'm involved right now with the Black Panthers. And I think appearance means a lot.
Oh, I've been wearing it for about 3 years, now 3 or 4 years. But during that time, like I went back to straighten the comb. But like wearing my natural, like shows and it gives me more pride within myself.
What are we doing daily? Like I said before, we are organizing the community, going into different people's homes, you know, politically educating them, telling them exactly what is going on, not only here in Oakland, but in America and throughout the world. Many black people are not aware of what is going on in America, or what is going on in South Africa, or over there in France, you know. We organize, since the black community is not a reading community, we talk to them, show them examples. In our papers we have pictures, you know, so they can see what is going on, and then after they learn what is going on in the black community, then they can step forth and try to change themselves.
Now, we understand one thing, and it's clear to us that Bobby was bound and gagged and was separating that child because he was black. We don't pick any bones about that because it should have been somebody else. Okay, we're saying that we will still advocate class struggle, but we will not advocate class struggle at the risk of racial suicide. You see, while we're laying in the cut, keep advocating racial suicide, the pig is escalating his war against black people. He's escalated his extermination by just recently in the city. At least 5 black people have been shot and murdered by some racist pigs. And yet, all these people talk about solidarity, racial solidarity and racial accord, or laying back and they're not opening up their mouth. And what we're saying, we're going to advocate class struggle because we feel that the masses of people make revolution. The masses of people have to sustain a revolution, but we are not going to have revolution in this country at the risk of all our people being exterminated or racial suicide. We're saying that white people have been lacking, and they themselves have allowed racism to come into play because that case in Chicago, and I'm sure that you sit down and talk to some people from the conspiracy level. Nothing that we do as Black Panther Party, it all comes from the people, it stems from the people. And when we say power to the people, that's not a hollow expression. That's not some hollow rhetoric that we just shout.
We thought it was necessary to stop talking about white people, or at least to try to keep it focused, to stop thinking in terms of black people and white people. Because we found that we had enemies in the black community that were just as deadly as our enemies in the white community. The white community and black community became meaningless categories. So we had to start talking about revolutionaries and reactionaries, which has nothing to do with color. We had to start talking about counter-revolutionaries.
I heard what you said about the system uses racism to separate people. I'm not saying separate black from white. If people decide that they want to live together in society, I say right on. If they decide they don't, I say right on. That's the people's decision. Right. But what I'm saying is, white people can no longer come into the black community and talk about organizing because black people heard enough of that. What I'm saying now is that if everybody's got the idea that revolution is a necessity, then you go in your I don't mean community like the 3 area blocks that you live. When I say community, go where white people are and you work with them. You tell them why and you show them how come. And you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna stay in the black community. That's everywhere the black community is, and we're gonna tell them why and how to do it. We're not saying how because we know better than the people. We're saying why because the people have shown us. We're people too, man.
We support all people who struggle for national independence and self-determination. Some of these countries are revolutionary nationalists and others choose to be socialists. That's their business. We say that they must be free because we realize as the countryside of the world becomes free, and the Black Panther Party calls the developing countries of the world the countryside of the world, while the United States is the city of the world. And we realize that the United States thrives upon the raw materials of the countryside. As each country becomes free, that it chokes the city because the city needs the raw materials, you see. So as the city is choked, then this increases our chances here as a colonized people to become free. So while we're not nationalists, we support national wars of independence. We know that once the imperialists is crushed, nationalism will not be necessary any longer. Because, pardon me? Of course, we support the Vietnamese people. Matter of fact, pardon me? Oh, the Vietnamese people don't know what the word means, and they never use the word, so I don't know what it means.
Huey, in what country would you say the people are free? What is an example of that?
We're offering troops to the people who are engaged in armed struggle against the racist, reactionary American troops in Vietnam. We're now awaiting an answer. We've sent a formal declaration to the Provisional Revolutionary Government in the South. We've sent a declaration to the Paris Peace Talks, one to the National Liberation Front, and we're now waiting for a reply. We also sent a copy to our embassy in Algiers. We've been recognized. We celebrate with us because we've been recognized now as the official liberation revolutionary group in North America. We have an embassy in Algiers, and now we're ready to launch a new international liberation front.
We want to know how you, Black Americans, are being going about this program, because this is the last vestige of imperialism, or what you call neo-colonialism, which was wiped out in Africa, and you should from the about. So tell us what you have done about.
Je voudrais savoir aussi quels sont les moyens qu'ils emploient pour parvenir à leur but.
What are the means you are employing to reach your...
Guns.
force.
La force, le fusil.
Le fusil. Uniquement le fusil.
He asked if it's only guns. He asked if it's only guns.
And bombs, guns, just like you had to do it here. The way you did it here, with the understanding of the problem, with the ideology for liberation, and with fighting men who would put the ideology into practice.
Ils veulent se battre comme vous vous êtes battus ici, avec la même idéologie et pour le même but.
C'est bon, oui, vous dites.
How else do you do it?
He said that's good. What else can I say?
But hasn't it occurred to you by now, after 400 years of being brutalized and murdered and lynched and maimed by guns and force on the part of racists and the racist power structure in this country, it's damn near time we picked up the gun to try to begin to get some peace, to defend ourselves and our community from racist attacks by the pigs, to defend ourselves against racist attacks by Birchites or Minutemen or Ku Klux Klansmen or what have you? Hasn't it occurred to you that it's damn near time we organize ourselves in some fashion to have some ability to begin to make racist and the racist power structure act in a desired manner as we define the functional definition of what power is? The ability to define the situation, and we have been defining it. Now we must organize in our black communities to also make the power structure and the racist system act in a desired manner. And what is that desired manner? Politics. What is politics? What is politics? You think politics starts with a seat in the assembly? No, it doesn't. It's related to it, but it doesn't start there. Politics starts with a hungry stomach. Politics starts with a pig crushing us across our skull and murdering our people. Politics starts with the fact that we get rotten education, we get brainwashed and fooled into trick notion and trick knowledge and everything else that goes on with us in terms of the exploitation that goes down. Politics starts with the fact that we want decent housing, fit for shelter of human beings. Now this is where politics starts. And black people now understand with the Black Panther Party that if we are going to relate to politics in a real fashion, we are not going for no more jive verbal sincerity at all. Don't give me Robert F. Kennedy your jive shut. I think it is necessary here that we come for. I don't want to hear it. I'm tired of my black brother being brainwashed too. Kingfisher, what did you think about John F. Kennedy? Robert Kennedy? Well, Andy, you know how I go there, boy. I think the boy is going to do something there. Look, we're not going for that thing anymore. Robert F. Kennedy was well related to Robert Williams being put in a situation where he had to vamp from this country and split because he was being prosecuted by Robert F. Kennedy. John F. Kennedy did not send troops into Birmingham in 1963 until black people decided it was necessary for them to defend themselves when Martin Luther King's motel was bombed and the racists had been attacking us constantly in that particular area and all over this country. Why didn't John F. Kennedy send some troops in then? He didn't send troops in until after black people decided we're going to defend ourselves from racist attacks and went to the streets and whooped up a few racist heads. Then John F. Kennedy decided to send in troops. See, all that verbal sincerity we learned from the past. We learned. So we're going to guide our feet by the lamps of the past. And we're going to make sure that we won't fall into no more bags. So peace and freedom, if you want to do something, get down to nitty gritty and don't miss no nits and grits. No more shucking and no more jiving with the McCarthys, with the Lynch and Baines Johnson, with the Governor Reagans, with the Robert F. Kennedys, right on down the line. No more shucking and jiving.
We are revolutionaries. We are not violent revolutionaries. There are two types of violence. There's aggressive violence by the fascist ruling class pig forces, as you've seen. You see, there's defensive violence. Defensive violence does not mean aggressing. It means defending yourself against unjust attack.
Mr. Carmichael, do you reject the ultimate use of violence as a final, last resort in bringing down the power structure?
I don't organize around violence or around nonviolence. The Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee organizes black people to get certain things that they have to get. Decent houses, decent jobs, decent schooling, and man a right to participate in decisions that affect their lives. Now that's what we organize for. The question of violence or non-violence just happens to be tactical as far as we're concerned.
Well, what is your tactic as a last resort?
Well, then we'd have to decide that depending upon how stiff the resistance was in the country.
You don't reject it then?
Oh, no, I've never rejected it. No, I've never rejected it.
You don't reject violence?
No, I've never rejected violence.
You say, how can you not reject violence and be the head of the students coordinating non-violent committee?
Nonviolence has always been a tactic with the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. It has never been a way of life. We've made that clear since 1960. And that is just tactical. In my own thinking, I've never rejected anything. I don't reject a host of means.
Mr. Carmichael, there's a lot of confusion about what you mean when you say, as you have said, I quoted you your words a moment or so ago, that if we are stopped by the government from doing it legally, we're going to take it, power that is, the way everyone else took it, including the way Americans took it in the American Revolution.
Okay, Mr.
Now, are you advocating a violent way if you can't get it legally? That's all we want to know.
This country, Mr. Gronsky, is fighting in Vietnam.
Right.
They're dropping bombs in Vietnam around the whole questions of free elections and the right for people to participate in decisions that affect their lives. Now, that is precisely the same thing we're doing in Lowndes County, Alabama. We are fighting for people to have free elections, and that this government and this country has a responsibility to the black people in Lowndes County to ensure them free elections. Now, if this country neglects to do that, then it seems to me that the responsibility of assuring free elections lies in the hands of the black people in Lowndes County and anybody else in the country who is willing to have free elections there. And that whatever means are left up to them, they're completely justified in doing that because they, again, have done all the legal processes that this country has demanded that they do.
Under those circumstances, you feel there is justification for the use of violent means?
I think it's justified whatever they do. If they've tried every legal means and this country does not respond.
So yes, we had to rid our ranks of infiltrators, provocateurs, and fools. There were people that attempted to use the Black Panther Party as a base to commit all sort of foolish, non-revolutionary acts, and we don't have time for that. We're a revolutionary organization. We're trying to mobilize the masses of people to recognize and see the necessity for a revolution. And we don't have time for petty crimes and robberies and what have you.
Richard Nixon has the nerve to say that some black people don't like him. I hate Richard Nixon. Richard Nixon is a dangerous man. Richard Nixon has hydrogen bombs to play with. Richard Nixon has the lives of all the people in the world to play with. And he has supreme power. The United States government today is a criminal government that is the enemy of the people, the number one enemy of the people of the whole world. All of our politicians, the leaders of our country, are criminals. From lynching Bain Johnson to Mayor Daley of Chicago, all these petty legislators, and even the priests, preachers, those who send the boys off to war.
A non-capitalistic state. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about revolution. People get hung on like panthers and self-defense. That's hand war. We're talking about war, urban guerrilla war. It's going to be tried.
People of Illinois versus Fred Hampton, the Honorable Judge Life Society.
I'd like you again to describe to me what happened, if anything, after you and Officer Dudley pulled on to the school ground.
I identified you as the person who grabbed me by the throat and held me down in the ice cream stand. We were walking, looking through the crowd, looking for the one with the heel up.
And what, if anything, did he say when he saw you? Or what, if anything, did you say to him? Who said something to him?
He said, that's him. I'll never forget his face. That's the one.
Okay, now when that police car
persons who had robbed this man. And in response to that, after that, the ice cream truck driver said, I guess that's man. What race were these police?
One was white and one was colored.
Right on. Officer Dunn, do you know the defendant's right now?
Yes, I know.
Do you know basically what Fred Hampton stands for? Politically.
No, I don't.
Officer Dunn, do you know the situation that poor people, black people and white poor people and red people and brown people are in this country today?
Well, not completely.
But you do know that part that you do know is that part includes the fact that these people are being oppressed by some white people that like to oppress people to make profit. Do you know that? Let me rephrase my question. Do you know that a whole lot of blood-sucking pigs are Do you know do you think you're free, officer?
Yes, I think I'm free.
No more questions, officer. Why do I have a lot of arrests? Because of harassment. Why is there harassment? Because the people that harass me have set up a problem that made me disagree with them violently, and they set up this problem in order to exploit me and other people like me. And why they want to get rid of me? Because I'm saying something that might wake up some other exploited people and some other oppressed people, and if all these people ever get together, then these pigs that they exploit us, we'll be able to run them into the lake. That's why they want to get rid of us. And it's just it's sort of like a primary thing with me. I'm the first move that they'll make. I'm a part of an organization who will be the first organization they'll move on, because I happen to be a part of an organization, the Black Panthers Party. That is the only organization, in fact, that has came out and stood up loud and clear and said that we don't care what anybody says, whether they have guns or not, and badges or 18 uniforms. If whenever they step outside the bounds of legality into the bounds of illegality, then we'll blow their brains out if they're bothering the people. And what makes them mad about that? They're constantly bothering the people. Anybody that's out there for the protection of the people happens to be in direct conflict with them. What makes them mad about it? What makes them mad about it is that they have black people and white poor people and red poor people and Puerto Rican poor people and Latin American Puerto Rican people of poor people of all descents. They had them caught up in movements based on racism when the Black Panthers Party stood up and said that we don't care what anybody says. We don't think you fight fire with fire best, we think you fight fire with water best. We're going to fight racism, not racism, but we're going to fight with solidarity. We said we're not going to fight capitalism with black capitalism, but we're going to fight it with socialism. We stood up and said we're not going to fight reactionary pigs and reactionary state attorneys like this and reactionary state attorneys like Hanrahan with any other reactions on our part. We're going to fight their reactions where all of us people are getting together and have an international proletarian revolution. Right on. And that's saying all power to me. That's saying that no matter what color you are, you belong to class. And that's saying there's a class over here and there's a class over there. And the reason that this class over here has never did anything to get this class off its back, because this is lower, this is upper. This is the oppressed, this is the oppressor. This is the exploited, this is the exploiter. And these people in this class have divided themselves. They say, I'm black and I hate white people. I'm white and I hate black. I'm Latin American and I hate hillbillies. I'm hillbilly and I hate Indians. So we fight amongst each other. And you heard the testimony of pigs here. You got pigs of all colors, you know that. You got pigs that are white, you got pigs that are black, you even got pigs that are black and white. Propagating the same type of madness that this buffoon Hanrahan would be propagating if he would hear himself. Why? Because they want to keep you to believing that I'm your enemy, and that everybody else that's black and that wears a lot of hair on his head, hair on his face, they want to keep you thinking that he's your enemy. Why? Because if ever you disregard, you could overlook him just for a minute and throw away that question of racism and start to dealing with little logic, then there would be no one else you could attack other than Hanrahan.
Honor. And you stand and have reached a verdict.
We have, Your Honor.
What is your verdict?
We, the jury, find the defendant, Fred Hampton, not guilty.
So we say, we always say in the Black Panther Party that they can do anything they want to us. We might not be back. I might be in jail. I might be anywhere. But when I leave, you can remember I said with the last words on my lips, I am a revolutionary. And you're going to have to keep on saying that. You're going to have to say that I am a proletarian. I am the people. I'm not the pig. You've got to make a distinction. And the people are going to have to attack the pig. The people are going to have to stand up against the pig. That's what the Panthers are doing. That's what the Panthers are doing all over the world. I want you to know that I want you to think. If you ever think about me, and if you think about these niggas, and you ain't gonna do no revolutionary action, forget about me. I don't want myself on your mind if you're not gonna work with you. Like we always did. If you actually make at the age of 20, and you say I don't want to make that decision on this because of the reasons that I'm too young to die, I want to live a little bit longer. What you did, you did it already. You got to understand. You have to be a fighter. You dare to struggle, you dare to win, you dare not to struggle, and goddamn it, you don't deserve to win. Then you should be serious. You will fight for it. Then you say it's your liberation. I've been gone for a little while. My body's been gone. You ain't got to see that to me. My body's been gone for a little while. But I'm back now. I believe that I'm back. I believe that I'm going to do my job. And I believe that I was born not to die in a car wreck. I don't believe I'm going to die in a car wreck. I don't believe I'm going to die sitting on a piece of ice. I don't believe I'm going to die because I got a bad heart. I don't believe I'm going to die because of lung cancer. I believe that I'm going to be able to die what I was just the things I was born for. I believe that I'm going to be able to die high off the people. I believe that I will be able to die as a revolutionary and that you represent protest. I want you to die and that you represent struggle and be living. I think this struggle is going to come. Why don't you feel for me? Why don't you struggle?
The 2337 Westwood Road, described by police as a depot for Black Panther Party arms and ammunition. 14 State's Attorney's policemen, led by Sergeant Daniel Groth, found out indeed it was a depot for weapons. After a 15-minute gun battle that cost Illinois Black Panther Party Chairman Fred Hampton his life, Sergeant Groth described the parade as 15 minutes of hell and a miracle. A miracle because not one policeman was killed, a miracle because not more policemen were shot. The firing stopped only when the occupants realized their arsenal was no match for the police arsenal, an arsenal that included a 45 caliber submachine gun and 2 shotguns.
What they didn't understand, and what Edward B. Henrihan doesn't understand, and what Richard Jolivet, his chief assistant, didn't understand, and what those police officers who put those 2 bullets in the skull of his head as he lay asleep didn't understand, and what Richard Nixon and his assistant lackey, Mr. Mitchell, don't understand, is that you can't kill Chairman Fred.
Right on!
See, black people have been demonstrating and going on for I don't know how long. And, we've been getting our heads beat and whatnot. We knew what was going to happen when those folks went down there because we have seen the pigs on the scene. We know what he's like. We know what he's capable of. Just being a damn pig, oinking and beating and walking the streets. I'm sick of these damn pigs walking our streets. And so everybody gets uptight when a few hunkies get their heads beat. What did they do when we was getting our heads beat? So I don't even want to deal with why they got their heads beat, no damn Walker reporting up, whatever else that's going on. I just want to deal with black and black liberation. My scene is picking up my damn gun, and I'm a mother. Have my baby in one hand, my gun in the other, and walking up to some hunky, all hunkies, saying, I'm here, motherfucker, to get what's mine.
See, unlike America would have us believe, the greatest problem confronting this country today is not pollution and bad breath. It's black people. It's black people. See, that's just one of the big lies that America tells you and that you go for because you chumps.
One of the lies that we tell ourselves is that we are making progress. But Huey's chair is empty. We're not making progress. We tend to equate progress with concessions. We can no longer make that mistake. See, when they gave us that nigger astronaut, you say we were making progress, but I told you they were going to lose him in space. He didn't get that far. You put Adam Powell in office and you couldn't keep him. What you think they're going to do with Thurgood Marshall when they get tired of it? They gave you Walter Washington of Washington, D.C., and you said we were making progress. That's not progress. See, it's no in-between. You're either free or you're a slave. There's no such thing as second-class citizenship. But a lot of you running around talking about you Democrats, and the Democrats got you in the biggest trick going. They tell you it ain't our fault, it's the Dixiecrats. No such thing as a Dixiecrat. The only difference between George Wallace and Lyndon Johnson is one of his wives got cancer. That's the only difference. You go for it because you chumps. You go for it. The only thing that's gonna free Huey is gunpowder, black powder. That's no victory, that's a concession. When black people become serious about the revolutionary struggle that they are caught up in, whether they recognize it or not, when they begin to go down and knock off people who are oppressing them, and begin to render these people impotent, that's when the revolutionary struggle unfolds. Not until.
I've been constantly harassed. I'm in solitary confinement. Yes, I've been in solitary confinement for approximately 3 months now. When I was outside of solitary confinement, I was still confined to a cell of 7x7. I haven't been outside of 7x7 in 9 months, other than to take a shower. My mail and books are constantly held up. My attorneys was put much pressure on the authorities here to give me a book, and I always read the book, and I'm out of reading material for months sometimes. Yes, only I have to be careful what I write, because periodically they have a shakedown, or they yeah, right. My books do, not the books that come in through the mail, they take them for some reason. Malcolm X speaks, quotations from Chairman Mao, a couple of them. But yes, it's a Marxist-Leninist program, and I was greatly influenced by the Cuban Revolution and the Black Panther Party, or practical revolutionaries. We identify with the armed struggle of colonized people throughout the world. The community has been very receptive and responsive to my being in prison. They view me as a political prisoner, which I am. It's helped to mobilize the community. In my case, it's definitely a confrontation between the police department in particular, between the establishment and the colonized black people in general. The role of the black woman in the Black Panther Party is exactly the same as the man. That we make no distinction whatsoever. Women hold ranking positions in the party. They are all instructed and are military trained. They're expected to perform duties not on a sex level, but just as a party member and revolutionary. Mind and body theory, or for years ever since slavery, that blacks have been considered the body to do the work, and the white population's mind, or the omnipotent administrator. And in this country, that the white radicals used to attempt to be theoreticians for themselves and also for the black radicals. But now the white radicals are gaining a body by engaging in activities, certain resistances, demonstrations, and so forth, and even confrontations with the arm of the establishment, which is the police force. So they're gaining a body in the we no longer will stand for anyone to be our theoretician, that we will stand our ideology as well as engage in the practice. So there's a unity is being achieved between the white radicals and the black colonists. The Black Panther Party has succeeded in lifting the consciousness of the community. I'm very optimistic at this point because I feel that the black community has already received their community.
Today is May 1st. UEP Newton trial is up for appeal today. Makes your teeth strong. Who left this milk over here?
My position is Communications Secretary of the Black Panther Party, and I work directly with the Minister of Information of the Black Panther Party. We're building what's called the Ministry of Information, which which would deal with the whole aspect of getting out information, publications, newspaper, magazines, pamphlets, contacting the press, arranging distribution of literature, arranging printing, building tape libraries, building libraries, making sure there's printed publications, this type of thing. My husband is Minister of Information. Black people in general are responsive to what we say, especially young black people. And the white people that invite us, they're curious or they want information in the Peace and Freedom Party, and they're usually very grateful because the Black Panthers Party has a rational program and a rational explanation for the many confusing things that are happening around the country. So whereas you might invite some speakers who ran and rave and talk about, hey, white people burn, kill, etc., and they can't really understand it, they can't isolate it. The Black Panther Party will give an ideological perspective and separate the institutions from the citizens, the government from the people, and point out the institutions, in particular the PIG, the police department, the educational system, the economic system, to be attacked. And to not attack the individuals because of color, this skin. This brother here, myself, all of us were born with our hair like this, and we just wear it like this because it's natural. Because the reason for it, you might say, is like a new awareness among black people that their own natural appearance, physical appearance, is beautiful. It's pleasing to them. The women want to please men, and if men accept it as beautiful, then women will do it. We were told that only white people were beautiful. Only straight hair, light eyes, light skin, beautiful. And so black women would try everything they could, straighten their hair, lighten their skin, to look as much like white women. And the black men would let it be known that they thought white women were beautiful, and they say they didn't want any ugly black woman with short hair. This whole thing, this has changed because black people are aware now that their own appearance is beautiful, they're proud of it, and white people are aware of it too, because white people now want natural wigs. They want wigs like this. Dig it? Isn't it beautiful? Yes. All right.
Long live the United Front Against Fascism, down with the reactionaries of all kinds. It is impossible to say what I feel now. It would take too long and the state doesn't offer enough paper. But because none of us can be with you, I will try. I can envision as I write the people that will hear this. I can see their faces, I can feel their warmth, the warmth that comrades often have for each other. I can also see the faces of some who always appear among the people, the worried, empty, brutal faces of the agents of fascism. Worried because they know that people, poor people, oppressed people, gather together but for one reason, to analyze the conditions of their oppression and wipe it out. Empty because they have no feeling for the masses of people, for the souls of the revolutionaries we have lost, for the starving babies of this country and the world. And brutal because they will fight to the last ditch to destroy the revolutionary fervor of the people. They all continue to run back, oinking to the oppressors about the people's plans to rise up. They fail, however, to realize that the masses have boundless creative power, and no matter how they kick ass, beat us, kill us, or jail us, the people will carry on. I see the faces of change. I hope that many minds are open to what is happening. I know that many ears have been listening to the foul utterances America spits out at the world. We have listened too long, and the bitch, her mouth reeking of death, says, we have thoroughly oppressed our people at home. We are succeeding at keeping Vietnam in a state of decay. We are trampling on Africa. We are destroying South America, making bigger and better alliances with Russia. We have only to wait for Mao to die, and we will be the world power. And then we will place our murder on the moon. America is plotting universal imperialism. It will be the same everywhere. First Coca-Cola, then Oscar Mayer wieners, and then the troops. We cannot allow fascist fanatics to continue to deprive us of our human rights. We must organize and form an everlasting united front against capitalism, against imperialism, against class distinctions, against racism, against fascism. We cannot allow concessions from the federal government for the continual harassment and unwarranted brutality of the people. We cannot allow our children, be they black, Mexican, Indian, Japanese, Chinese, or white, to be miseducated and degraded in America's degenerate school system. We cannot allow any more lynchings, bombing, and racial ignorance down south or up south. We cannot allow unions any longer to drive the working class. The working class must drive the unions. Our fight must be endless to organize the workers of this country, to overhaul and change every assembly line and every factory. We cannot allow medical services in our communities to remain inadequate. We need more hospitals, more doctors, more nurses, and less insistence on medicinal genocide or birth control. We cannot allow the reformers to clean up the surface while the inner structure rots. We need a revolution. That's right on, Erica.